Revival is moving across the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. The movement is called Revive Texas. The nonprofit organization Time to Revive is behind the movement, and its founder Kyle Martin joins us now by Skype to tell us what's going on. Welcome, Kyle.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be here.
When did this start, and how long will it be going on?
You know, for 50 days in Dallas-Fort Worth, it started on Easter, and it's going through Pentecost. And it's absolutely just kind of crazy. 351 congregations have actually agreed to come together, which is mind-blowing in itself, to say, hey, let's go out, pray, and share the gospel with our own community for 50 days.
Well, what exactly has been happening? Take us through the process. How does all this work?
So what we've done is we divided Dallas-Fort Worth by 10 regions. So DFW is a huge city, Metroplex, 7 million people. And so we broke it up into 10 regions. And what that means is that we basically have 10 centers throughout DFW. So every morning, every afternoon, and in the evenings, we're actually hitting the streets, going out, sharing the gospel. And then we have an evening worship service for 50 days in all these 10 regions. And as this begins to unfold, what's been beautiful is that the Lord's been opening up doors for us to go into public schools and share the gospel. We've been going into fast food restaurants. We've been going into more businesses. And so what's happening is that believers are beginning to actually believe they've been changed by Christ, and they want to share the gospel right where they're at.
Well, what kind of results have you been seeing? Like how many salvations? Tell us what kind of results you've been seeing.
You know, just tangibly, I mean, well, we've seen over 1,600 people come to know the Lord in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks, you said?
In 4 weeks. And for us, you know, that's a lot. That means that the church is actually believing they've been equipped to share the gospel and go do this. A practical example, we're going on to public high school football fields because coaches are saying, please come share the gospel with our teams. I've been into city officials sharing with all of their city offices. And so it's just kind of like people are beginning to believe again. As weird as this sounds, he's actually changed our lives. And so the results are salvations, but the sustainability to me, Mark, is when discipleship takes place. So every night in all of our worship services, the reason we're seeing movement is that we're pairing up all these people that came to know the Lord during the day. At night, we actually say in the services, I need you to disciple this person. So it's really actually getting pretty messy because we're not saying come to the church building. We're saying, no, go out and disciple these people.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, what kind of training do the volunteers receive, like if people want to get involved?
Yeah, so what's been happening is we have actually people even coming from Virginia flying in. We have people from London flying in, in fact, 350 folks from 20-some states are flying in, and we work and walk alongside the local church here in DFW. So every morning for 30 minutes, and then every afternoon for 30 minutes, before we go out and hit the streets, we always do a brief equipping and training. And it's really quite simple. It's 4 words: love, listen, discern, and respond. When we love Him like Christ, we'll listen, and then we discern from the Holy Spirit, and then we'll respond. We'll respond with the gospel. It's kind of like we're going back to the book of Acts. It's so simple that people think, well, what's the catch? And we're like, really, there isn't. We're just doing what He's asked us to do.
Where did the idea for all of this come about?
You know, for the last 10 years, our ministry, Time to Revive, has been invited traveling across the United States. And because of that, we just kind of keep learning every single city. What does it really look like to do Ephesians 4? What does it really look like to actually equip the church so that you can do this, wherever you're at? When you're starting to go into Taco Bell's, 30 of them, because an owner says, let's do this, you know that the Spirit of God is beginning to stir. And so for us, it's just a modeling. And so we don't have it figured out, but for some reason, it's starting to catch.
Well, what's it like for you personally to be involved?
You know, personally, it's really humbling because it just used to be my wife and I. When we first started 10 years ago, it was just my wife and I. And now to literally see, we have over 100 full-time missionaries with Time to Revive. People are coming on board as full-time missionaries, not to leave the country, but to actually pour into our United States. And so to me, it's humbling because this is the model that Christ gave for us, is that we're supposed to train and equip others so that they'll do it as well. And so, you know, we just keep doing it every day in hopes that more and more catch what the Lord's asking them to do.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we really commend your efforts. Kyle Martin, the founder of Time to Revive, the organization behind Revive Texas, going on right now until Pentecost Sunday. Thanks so much for your time today, Kyle. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mark.